Hey, Devin Craig here with Peterson Acquisitions. So, really, we think that there are three ways of success in business, right? First one, most popular probably, is start a business, start a small business. You have a passion, you see an opportunity to make money, start it up from the ground and run with it. And yeah, you can have that be very successful. That's really, really a popular thing in like the technology space. Start an app, build a software as a service. Sure, yeah. 90% of those businesses fail. Reason being is because they get undercapitalized, they don't have enough money, it doesn't stick, you don't have proof of concept, whatever, right? Pretty risky. But you can be that unicorn that maybe investors invest into and all of a sudden takes off. But that's really, really rare. Another method is to maybe work in someone else's business. And if it's a big enough business, maybe you can grow enough that you get stock options or whatever. And there's a lot of businesses out there that will share in that. A lot of people have done really well for themselves by running someone else's business and not owning it. So that is a possibility. But again, kind of limitations. You don't get the full ROI of your efforts because you're just getting what's basically agreed to as part of your employment there, right? But not a bad thing. Just another option. Option three is buy a business, buy a small business potentially. Or if you have a ton of money, yeah, sure, fine, buy a big business. A lot of the big dogs out there do that as a way to grow, right? Buy a competitor or buy an innovation versus, have it come internally. But you could buy a business like I did several years ago. I bought a business as my way into entrepreneurship. I started a business too. I still have that business, but it's a smaller business and I was never able to make it to something big. Got the idea to buy a business and bought a small business. Now, when I did that, I envisioned or thought I was hold on to that business forever. So that's really that like mentality is you could, become successful in entrepreneurship by buying a business less risky, right? It's like a only 10% failure rate compared to a 90% failure rate because you've got something already that has infrastructure and a foundation and a legacy. So that was way less risky in my mind. So that's what I did. And it didn't take a lot of money to do that because I partnered with a bank and SBA. So I only had to put a 10% in. But when I did that, my mentality was, okay, I'm going to buy this thing and hang on to it forever, potentially, or maybe sell it. I don't know. There was no predetermined exit. It was just to like make it better. And I was super passionate about it first couple of years. Did grow it, did build it out, made it a heck of a lot better. Really enjoyed that process. But then the passion started to wane a little bit. And I'm like, oh man, well, next 30 years are going to suck, right? But it doesn't have to be that way. There's a fourth way to find success in business. And that is a combination of buying a small business that's already established, right? So less risky from the start, making it a little bit better and having a predetermined exit time. So it's almost like a combination of those first two I talked about. Startup, except it's not a startup, but you can have a predetermined exit that you're shooting for as part of the strategy. But then it's like acquiring something that's already established. And you can do this coming from corporate America. If you're already an employee and you have that entrepreneurial bug that I did, you can either choose to stay there and try to, be an entrepreneur potentially if it's the right fit company. If not, like it wasn't for me, for so many of the companies I worked for, then go do your own thing, right? And I would never look back after doing that and going full bore into entrepreneurship. But now I found this fourth way of being able to really up level my skill, ability, wealth, and strategy, quite frankly, around business ownership. And I still may hold on to some businesses I buy, but now my full plan here in partnership with Peterson Acquisition, both as a business broker as well, having my own business within that vein. But we, even in partnership with Peterson, will buy businesses together and do QSI to them where we grow a little bit and then flip, turn it around, pass it off to the next person who can, put their own stamp on it. And then we go turn around, use those proceeds to buy another larger business than the one we just previously owned. So there is a better way. It's called Quantum Stack Investing. I highly recommend you look into it. ChadPeterson.com, PetersonAcquisitions.com. Come take a look.